These are the biggest mistakes I've made in my swimming career, and I want to share them with you so that way you don't make the same mistakes that I did. Now, the first one is not training with enough variety. And I used to think that when I swam through high school and college, I did some of the hardest workouts of my life, trained butterfly, IM, all the strokes, so much intensity, and I thought because of that, I don't need to swim all of the strokes. I don't need to have the same variety. So I ended up swimming the same stuff over and over, and let me tell you, that's a recipe for disaster. Now sure, if you have a routine and it works, you can continue to swim that over and over. What might end up happening, what happened to me at least, I started to get bored. I started to get slower. I wasn't swimming faster. I wasn't leveling up. And because it was so monotonous, this caused me to actually resent the sport of swimming. So you have to train your best strokes and your worst strokes. I used to swim just breaststroke and freestyle because these are my two best strokes. But because I wasn't training enough butterfly or backstroke, my feel of the water just wasn't as good as it could have been and as it had been in the past. So you really have to push yourself to train all the different strokes. And that's actually why I developed the MySwimPro app. So that way you don't have to think about what to do next. You can just follow a training program. The MySwimPro coach will tell you exactly what to do step by step right there on your watch. Now, the second biggest mistake is not swimming fast enough. Now, I know it sounds kind of obvious. If you want to swim fast, you have to train fast. But if you don't have that training variety, if you don't have that speed variety, then you're actually going to plateau pretty fast. What's going to happen is that baseline of speed is just going to get slower over time. So if you want to swim faster, if you want to at least maintain how fast you are now, you have to add that variety and you can't swim slow. One way to do this is just giving yourself more rest. Now I am fully confident in giving myself more rest when I train, whether it's between sets or between reps, so that way I can actually swim at the intensity level that I want to. It also goes with more training variety, because it's not enough to just swim fast. You have to swim different distances, whether that's swimming 25s or 50s, 100s, 200s, whatever it is for you. Make sure you have that variety, not only in speed, but also in duration. And again, that's why the MySwimPro app is so fantastic, because it takes care of all of that for you. Now, another mistake is just poor cross training. Now, I've been lifting weights for about 15 years now, on and off. I got into a routine, but what happens, just like swimming, is if you stick with the same routine, even if you're able to increase the amount of weight that you're doing, your strength gains are simply going to plateau. So because I was training the same types of workouts, I was actually plateauing as an athlete out of the water, and I felt it in the water as well. And that's why it's so important to have this variation, variety, and also focus on the right things like improving your flexibility, because that can also help you prevent injury. So you might have some areas of strength and other areas of weaknesses, and if you do the same thing over and over out of the pool, or you're not training at all out of the pool, that's another mistake, then you're going to set yourself up for potential injury, and that's happened to me as well. So if you're not focused on having a well-rounded athleticism out of the water, you're gonna set yourself up for injury, and we definitely wanna prevent that. So I recommend becoming an athlete out of the water. And one way to train out of the water is the SwimFast Ergometer from Kayak Pro. The SwimFast is designed to complement your pool training and help you build strength and technique out of the water so you can swim faster. It's perfect if you have limited access to a pool or if you're tight on time. You just spend 15 minutes per day on the SwimFast Erg and you're gonna start to see results. Now, I've been testing it out for a while now, and I definitely feel stronger in the water. It's got variable resistance settings so you can challenge yourself and build a powerful, efficient pull. You can work on tempo at lower resistance or build strength at higher resistance. And if you want to push yourself even more, you can add extra high resistance bands. The bench even rotates to help mimic your freestyle stroke. The full and half palm hand paddles help me work on proper hand position for when I'm actually in the water. And that's motivating to watch on the screen and track my performance as I go. Kayak Pro just released a 9-week training plan designed for the SwimFast, so you can connect your phone via Bluetooth and track your progress over time. This plan has helped swimmers improve their power output by as much as 25% in just 4 weeks. So if you're looking for some motivation to keep up your dryland training, I recommend checking out the SwimFast Erg. If you're interested in learning more, head over to the description to check it out. And to that note, another mistake I've made is not warming up appropriately. You gotta remember, when you're swimming, it's total body. You're engaging every single muscle in your body. The stability is there, and if you don't prep before the workout, you're gonna set yourself up for injury. So doing a proper warm-up, dynamic stretching, really what you wanna do is you actually wanna prepare your body to swim before you even get in the water. A lot of times, myself included, I've made this mistake of thinking, well, that's what the warm-up is for in the pool. I start out with a 500 freestyle, then I do 1050s kick, then I do, who knows what you do, but you should already be warmed up before you even do that first 500. That way it'll make your stroke more efficient, you're gonna have more muscle engagement, and you're gonna swim faster. Another mistake I made is swimming to failure far too often. Now, certainly you wanna push yourself in swimming. You wanna see how fast you can go, you wanna test yourself. But if you're doing that all the time and at the expense of your technique and your distance per stroke because you're fatiguing and you're just falling apart, that is called failure. So you actually want to control your failure. And the more you've been swimming, the better sense you'll have of your own body. This is the difference between pain and discomfort. So when you're pushing discomfort, you'll know how hard you can push yourself and at what point your technique will start to fatigue. Now, another mistake that I've made is just swimming too much. Now, I know this is very counter to the concept of me being the swimming evangelist. I want you to go swimming. I want you to go to the pool. I want you to train. I want you to use the MySwimPro app. But if you do it too much, there is such a thing as too much of a good thing. And in swimming, that is also true. So if you don't give yourself enough time to recover, if you're swimming high volume every single day, that's going to be a problem because you're going to burn out. You're not going to give yourself enough time to recover because when you're not working out is when you're growing. That's when your muscles are recovering. That's when you're able to actually reap the benefits of the hard training you're doing both in and out of the water. Now, another mistake is not using equipment correctly. Maybe you're not using any equipment at all. I know for me, it took me a while to actually get comfortable training with different pieces of equipment, whether that was a snorkel, different types of paddles, different types of fins. These are all great pieces of equipment, and if you're swimming at a more advanced level, you can certainly leverage them to your benefit. But if you're using them too often, or if you're using them infrequently, or you're not having a progression with your training, then you're not really using the equipment correctly. So when you're using the equipment to help you refine your technique, this is the real power of equipment because you're adding resistance in specific ways. So whether that's using your paddles to improve that early vertical forearm, or fins to work on your underwaters, or maybe a snorkel to work on your body position, that is the power of equipment. And I made a big mistake of just not using it enough with enough consistency and just using it correctly in general. Now, another big mistake is comparing to other people. Now, I will say I'm a lot better at this today, but especially when I was competing, I would always be looking at what other people were doing, how fast they were going. And it's good to have a benchmark and see the results and see what other people are doing. But at the end of the day, you can't control what other people are doing. So you first and foremost need to focus on improving yourself, being one step better than you were the day before. If you can be 1% better every week or every month, you're gonna have a compounding effect, and that's really the only thing that you can work on and really all you should pay attention to. So focus on yourself, don't really worry about what everyone else is doing, and benchmark yourself to your own prior results. Now, the next mistake is not being grateful for the incredible opportunity that you have to swim. Be happy, put a smile on your face, and be grateful for the opportunity to be in the water. The water is 800 times more dense than air, and you can move through it. How amazing is that? If you enjoyed this video, let me know down below in the comments, and make sure you check out this video over here, 5 of the biggest breathing mistakes that are keeping you from swimming faster. Check it out. I'll see you over there, and happy swimming.